Did you know that helping others can help you be successful? Let's talk about that. Do-do-do-do-do-do. Good morning, everyone. John Henry Soto here. It is 7 a.m. and it is May 7th, 2021. We are moving fast on this year, aren't we? It's already May. I know people say that every year. Can't believe it's already April. I can't believe it's already March. I can't believe it's already June. But yep, that's what happens. Time goes by, and if you stop doing stuff, it does not mean that the world ain't going to continue to go. That's why I always say do things. Why not? The world is moving along without you. If you do it or if you don't, might as well do it. Join the party. Well, I hope everyone's having a wonderful morning out there. It is Friday and weekend's coming up. We got a pretty busy weekend, actually. We got today is the last day for my daughter's homeschooling and my son's homeschooling program. We go to the church today and we have some education. Um, and then you do the rest of it at home. You can still continue, but we'll probably take a little bit of time off as we're preparing to do some kind of family things here that are pretty major for us, which I'll talk about at some point. But then tomorrow we have a nice little event in the park where sort of like the homeschooling families are going to come together and celebrate the uh, the year and look forward to the summer and all that good jazz. So that's tomorrow. Sunday I have some meetings. I have a tap dancing class with my daughter, so it's going to be a little busy weekend. Um, but as always, it's fun doing stuff. I enjoy doing things. That's I think one of my mottos I think that I wrote is just I'm just a guy that enjoys doing stuff. That's basically sums me up in a nutshell. Um, but today we're going to be talking about helping others, which is something that I also love to do as well. And we're going to talk about 5 ways. There's more, obviously. There's probably hundreds and thousands of ways you can help others, but these are specific things that you can do to help others to help you succeed as well. Because a lot of people don't realize that the what you do for others is really going to amount it's really going to build you up to where you're going. It's going to really to create your path. And as we move along in this river of life, a lot of individuals are going to come crossing our path, and a lot of them are going to need assistance, as well as we need assistance too, right? So if everyone had this viewpoint, the world would be a much, much, much better place, right? um, so we're going to be talking about these 5 ways to help others so you can succeed. They'll succeed as well. But we're going to be a little selfish, I guess, and talk about why you should help others and how that energy translates to you moving on that path of success and reaching that pinnacle of success, right? Whatever that may be for you, right? Because there's always levels of success that you reach, and then you want to go to the next one, right? I usually set my sights out on goals, right? I want to finish a project. I want to finish my film, which I did. I want to finish writing something, which I'm in the middle of writing something right now. And so I put tiny goals out there, and I start moving towards those goals, right? And within that journey, I'm always constantly trying to figure out how can I help others, how can I make things better for someone else. And if people do reach out to me a lot, which is actually nice. And, they usually just want some advice, so they want to pick my brains on something that I might know a little bit about. um, and I'm always there for them, and it's always a pleasure. So um, let's go. Let's go. Let's get this started. Let's get this started right. Let's get this started. That's a really old song that really dates me. All right, here we go. All right, so number one, something that it's very cool is sharing knowledge. When one of the easiest ways to help others is to simply just share your knowledge, right? And this is sometimes what I do on this show. It's what I do when I meet people or when they want to talk to me about something is because or they want some advice is because they know that I know a little bit about something, right? I mean, you don't have to be in front of a classroom to teach, right? Every day is an opportunity to educate somebody, um, with something that you're an expert in, even if you're not a full expert, but you know a little bit more than someone else. It's important, to be there for them and to be willing to share that knowledge. The key is keeping educating, and if you keep educating yourself, then you can actually get ahead of that curve, right? So every time someone you know comes up with something, or you'll know a little bit about it. You just have to continue to educate yourself. Learn something every single day. Find a couple of subjects that you're really interested, like me, for instance. I'm getting into stocks a little bit more. I've already been into the cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin, so I sometimes I'll talk to people about that. I'm not a financial advisor, but I just give them my experience with it, and we'll talk about it, as well as with some health things. I know a little bit about health by working out for most of my life, and having had issues with my health, with being pre-diabetic for a little bit, which it went away after I changed my diet. But I had that situation about 10 years ago. And these kind of things, again, I'm not a dietitian or nutrition or a doctor or anything. Um, because I know a lot of stuff. No, I'm just kidding. But I'm not any of those. But I do have some information, things that happen to me, and I'm always willing to share it. So that's number one: is always be willing to share your knowledge. Number two is finding out what's valuable to them. So this comes from asking questions. We talked about this yesterday. You want to make sure you have conversations with people where you ask them questions so you can find out what it is that they really want to do in their lives. And I ask this to people sometimes. I was like, what do you want? Like, what are your goals? Tell me what your 1 year, your 6 month, your week goal, your year, your 5 year plan, 10 year, whatever that goal is. Tell me what that is so we know what's valuable to them. And it has to be something that's real. It has to be something that makes sense. If somebody says, what do you want to do? Well, I want to be a famous movie star. Like, okay, great. I never say no. I say, well, okay, well, let's see, what are you doing to make that happen? What are you working on? What actions are you taking to make that happen? If they're saying like, well, I'm just waiting for something, or I'm not really doing much right now, or I'm trying to take some photos, and it doesn't seem like then you have to understand, okay, what's valuable to them. They're not mapping a road to that end goal. So you help them with that and say, okay, what you got to do, you got to probably increase a little bit in that area. Okay. So that's number two. That's a very important one. It's always the number one rule of helping people is to find out what they actually, need, right? What's actually valuable to them. A lot of people just think, let me help you. And they help them based on what they think would help them, as opposed to what that person is really wanting, right? And if you spend enough time with someone, you get to find out what it is that they want. If you don't know them that well, then you'll ask a couple of questions, right? And you have to make an effort to ask them where they need help. And you have to keep that in mind, because that's where the opportunity comes in. That's where when they say something, you're like, oh, okay, I know a little bit about this, right? This is why they reached out to me, or I know someone who knows someone who can help, right? That's a very important factor as well. Um, all right, so let's move on here. Number three, sharing your resources, which is a little bit different than sharing your knowledge, right? Sharing your knowledge is different, but sharing your resources, right? If you think about resources that you've invested in the past, you have to be mindful of whether they can help someone else with it, if those things can help someone. Maybe a developer on your team has some extra time. Maybe someone that you work with on your team can help, this person that with something that they need done. Maybe you've met someone through the industries and through whatever that does this, and it all matters on really on number two, right? Finding out what's valuable to them, right? When you find out, then your wheels turn and you can start going and saying, oh, I have a friend who might be able to help you with this. Right now, you don't want to put anyone else and give them work, um, especially if it's just an advice thing. You have to know the person that you're referring is going to be willing, just as willing as you are, to share their knowledge, right? Which is number one, right? So you want to make sure you pick somebody that's in that range. You have to know them well enough, right? Um, so um keep that in mind when you're connecting with people also, like what's valuable to them and who can use their services. So I think about that all the time, like when I meet somebody and they're an actor, I think about them. Okay, I see this person, I know what she looks like. She's she looks she, this is her type of actress. I know what he looks like. He's this kind of a writer, or this kind of a real estate agent, or he works in that area. He understands more about rentals than he does about anything else. She does commercial real estate more than anything else. So you keep those things in mind, right? And sometimes I do have my book that I'll write down people that I've met. I'm very like I talk about this a lot. Get a book that you carry around everywhere, and I take it, I put it in the kitchen on the kitchen table, and I'm usually working, cooking, helping the kids, doing the homeschooling, whatever it is. But while I'm doing all that, I'm still working. I'm meeting people, either if it's on LinkedIn or if it's on social media, and I'm writing down who I met. Like I have a few people here that I've met recently that that have been great, and we've been chatting back and forth. Chadwick is one of the guys that I've met, and a couple other people. Again, I met this dude named Matthew, really awesome dude. I know what they do now, and so I have this resource that if somebody needs help in that area, especially in this location because they're not local, I know I can say, oh, I just met a guy that does that. Maybe he can help, or maybe he knows somebody. Let me ask him if he's willing to help you. And those are resources. That's what you have under your belt. Somebody needs something, they'll come to you and say, do you have this? And I said, yes, you know what? I know someone that can help you with that. That's number three. Number four, making them aware of an opportunity. It's important to keep an eye out for opportunities, right? So when you see something and you're like, oh, that's an opportunity, it may not be for me, but it may be for somebody. So because you have these people in your head, then you have them back there and you're thinking, if you think with others in mind, when an opportunity comes up, you won't think like, oh, that's not for me, and just walk away from it. You think, oh, that's not for me, but they may be for Joe Schmo. That actually might be perfect for him. It could be a potential partner, right? It could be like that guy and that girl would really make a good couple. Now I don't like to match, I have done it a couple of times in my past, and it's actually been successful. But every once in a while you'll see people and you're like, oh, they should be together, or just work opportunities, just general business stuff. A guy who would make a great real estate agent, I would mention, I said, you ever considered real estate? you know Maybe you should meet my broker and have a conversation with him, and that's worked out as well. um so that's kind of what we're talking about when we're making them aware of opportunities, right? One of the ways I like to help people is, or their friends, is by seeing if there's a job out there for them. Like, for instance, like my films. So if I make a film, I give the film to the cast, and I always allow the cast to use it. I say, do whatever you want with it. It's already done. It's out there. And I can't tell you how many times people have used one of my films to get a job, an acting job. And that's just like, they tell me, I got 3 acting jobs with that. I got 4 acting jobs with this one film that I did. for you, and that just makes me feel fantastic. And a lot of times it's also business connections, right? People that, if somebody else is making a film and they need a lighting person, they need a sound person, they need an assistant director, they need a gaffer, they need a an actor, any type of actor or actress. um, I have that in my brain roaming around, and I can actually punch up, oh, I know who'll be great, and I'll give them a list of a few people that they can go and audition, or talk to and see if they're going to work for their project. So that's, making them aware of an opportunity. Sometimes, you know um we're thinking in survival mode sometimes, and we're thinking about, well, I need to survive, right? But you'll survive much better if you help others, and if you start thinking with the idea that all those opportunities that come on, that land on your lap, that you're like, ah, this is good but I can't do it, that somebody that might be able to make use of it. That energy that you're putting out there is certainly going to come back and help you. I mean, it's just a wonderful thing. And if it doesn't come back right away, it helps somebody else, and have that be the enough of something that will satisfy and that will actually fill you up and make you happy. That's number 4. Number 5, giving them transparent feedback. So that can be tough sometimes because people don't take constructive criticism well, and I don't like it either. I don't think it's, especially if you didn't ask for it. um but I mean, I can take it now. I guess I'm a different person now. It's not really, I'm listening to what they're actually saying, and I don't really associate too much with mean people, and I know that sounds weird, but I know sometimes there'll be people that I think are like kind of mean, and I'm like, man, that person's kind of rough. That's the word I use. I was like, it's kind of a rough personality, but they're friends with somebody that I'm friends with, and I'm always wondering, like, why are you friends with that person? It's so rough. But they have their own thing, So if I get some kind of criticism from someone like that, and I have, because they say, people say things all the time. Um, I'm pretty good now with accepting what it is they're saying, and also based on where they're coming from. If it's somebody who's an actor or a director, I'll tend to be like, okay, they're involved in this industry as well. But really, the when you make a film or when you do your art is for everyone. So you want to take everyone's viewpoint into account, right? You don't want to just say, well, he's a filmmaker and you're not, so I'm not going to listen to you because you're not a film. No, that's your audience, right? Your audience is generally, most of your audiences are not filmmakers. They're not in the entertainment industry. So you want to take and you want to be able to listen to everyone's feedback, right? Now, the important thing is that you want to be able to give and transparent feedback, right? And there's a difference between telling someone that they suck, right, and giving them good examples of how they can improve, right? Like some people won't take it well, but um, in the long run, you will help people that you want to work with and improve the efficiency and success of your company as well. As you move forward, you find individuals that are going to impact your business and your film in the future because you've actually given them good advice and good understanding of where they are, and say, oh, that was great. Maybe if you actually had this way, maybe that would have worked a little bit differently too, and give it another viewpoint. If you had maybe there's a little bit more light on this section, I think, because the character, unless you intended it to be that way, then it's awesome. But if you want more, that kind of stuff, I get that all the time. I send out my new film. I send it out to a couple of film directors, and they called me back and they told me what they liked about it. They gave me some feedback on a few things. Pacing is an important one, and these are people that I trust and that are nice and that I can would allow them to sit, have an hour conversation with them, and let them actually you know help me. um so that was number 5. And I'm gonna do a bonus one, which is giving introductions. So this is something that, like, when you introduce people to one another. This is a bonus one that is a big thing out there. Like someone knows somebody who's great at this, and you want to get an introduction to them, or you want to you should introduce them. It's kind of goes a little bit into sharing your resources, but it's a little bit different because now you're making specific introductions. And you don't know where it's going to go. So what I usually do is when I'm making specific introductions, I let all sides know that, if this doesn't work out, don't come to me. I'm just introducing you two because you both seem like you both can work well together just based on me knowing both of you. And I put them together and stuff. And that's happened to me numerous times. Meeting people, just introductions. They go, hey, this is Joe, this is Maria. They're working this, good luck. Right. And that's really a good way to help people succeed, right? So, and there are many, many ways of helping others, right? Just being there sometimes is tremendous help. Just reaching out to people, just randomly. I do this sometimes on my Instagram, where you can do a little voice recording, and just randomly people that are associates, people that I know that are not really close friends that I've never met in person, that but we have this internet social media connection. I'll send them like a little private message. Hey, just want to say that I really enjoyed the whatever you were working on, or that post that you did last. Just letting you know, have a great weekend. Have a great weekend, and take care. And they're like, usually 99% of the time they're like, wow, that's so nice, thank you so much. And and it opens up dialogue again. And I get to then find out what it is that they really want again, and now I get more information. So that helps me by having more information about these people, that I can then connect them to others, and I could also help them if they reach out to me and ask for help. All right, folks. So there you have it. That is 5 ways, a bonus one there, which kind of melts into the other ones, but um in making introductions to people, I think it's an extra one. Um and that's 5 ways of how to help people succeed so you can succeed, right? And that really is the key reason why I wanted to talk about this today is, we have to look outward. It's if we continue to look inward all the time, it can get a little bit mucky in there, right? So look outward on what you can do for others and how you can help others, and I think that really is a very valuable tool to have. And that is all, my friends. I want to thank you for tuning in. Have a wonderful weekend out there. Enjoy yourselves. Do things that you love. Take a risk. Do something that you didn't think you would do, or something that's in the back of your mind that you've been wanting to do. Go out there and just knock it out. Do it. Knock it out of the park, and have a wonderful weekend. Make today great, and this weekend, do the things that you love. Take care of yourselves. And as always, peace.